Mind of a maniac. Welcome to the mind of a maniac. Welcome to the mind of a maniac. Welcome to the mind of a maniac. Game is my fault. I got the key to the little bitch heart, and you can't get too involved. Better go get a lock, better go get a Glock, bitch. Pull up on the motherfucking pop. If you playing with my slime, that's my boo, that's my slime, that's my everything. That's my bitch forever, don't need no wedding ring. I give her the world, polka dots in her new pajama. Take the whole out to Bahama. Let the bitch eat that Benny Hunters. Matter of fact, ain't trying to meet the mama. Dig it down, yeah, the other way. Dig it down, yeah, the other way. Dig it down, yeah, the thug way. Knocking on your door, trying to give you love. You keep telling me you don't give a fuck. You won't find nobody that could fuck you like I fuck you, babe. You won't find nobody that could fuck you like I fuck you, babe. You won't find nobody that could fuck you like I fuck you, babe. Young nigga world, and I got them young nigga ways.
Now a break in the case of a double murder in Miramar.
2 people now behind bars, including a South Florida rapper who actually sings a popular song about murder.
Local 10's Christian De La Rosa joining us live now with more on the suspects arrested today. Christian.
That's right, and take a look here. Just moments ago, we obtained this rapper's mugshot from the Broward County Jail. He has turned himself into authorities tonight. He and his alleged accomplice now behind bars.
And I got murder on my mind.
Ironically, one of his biggest hits on YouTube is titled Murder on My Mind. Up-and-coming Florida rapper Ynw Melly, also known as Jamel Demons, is now in jail, charged with murdering 2 men he called his friends. 21-year-old Anthony Williams on the left and 19-year-old Christopher Thomas Jr. Local 10 News cameras were rolling back in October outside the Miramar Memorial Hospital emergency room. Detectives say the 2 victims arrived here in this 2018 Jeep, the back windshield appearing to be shot up. Both men pronounced dead moments later from gunshot wounds. Investigators telling us 20-year-old Cortland Henry drove both victims to the hospital, claiming they were victims of a drive-by shooting. The next day, the rapper tweeting, quote, "They took my brothers from me over jealousy." But detectives say the claims didn't add up with what they found. And following their forensic investigation, Wednesday night, police announcing the arrest of Ynw Melly and Henry, accusing the rapper of shooting and killing his 2 so-called friends and working with Henry to stage the crime. And the rapper posting to his Instagram shortly before turning himself in tonight, saying in part, "I'm turning myself in today. I want you guys to know I love you and appreciate every single one of y'all. A couple months ago, I lost my 2 brothers by violence, and now the system wants to find justice. Unfortunately, a lot of rumors and lies are being said, but no worries. God is with me." Ynw Melly was slated to have a concert tomorrow night in Philly. Safe to say, that's not happening. We're live in Fort Lauderdale. I'm Christian.
What's the deal, my people? Thank you for joining me in my channel, Panama's OG Truth. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me right now. And today, we're gonna be covering a controversial figure. The young man that goes by the name Jamel Demons, better known as Ynw Melly. And we already know back in 2018, Ynw Melly and another one of his partners, Ynw Borton, were accused and charged with the murder of 2 of their best friends. This was something that came out of left field. Most of the world didn't anticipate something like this to happen. Ynw Melly was at the height, riding the wave from his hit "Murder on My Mind." I mean, he was on top of the game. So nobody saw this coming. It was a shock to everybody. And I want to talk about how did Ynw Melly end up in a situation that he's in right now. Because what a lot of people don't realize is, of course, you know, the talent. We all know he has talent. We already see it. It translates to his music. All right. But at what cost does his talent keeps you focused? Like, there's more to it than just the talent. And a lot of this right here, by him being accused and charged with the capital murder of two of his best friends, childhood buddies, a lot of things have been said about Melly, Ynw Melly, okay? And I just want to point out a few things. Now, before I get into this, I just want to say one thing and one thing only to everybody that's tuning in and is listening to me, okay? This is not YouTube's opinion. This is not your opinion. It's my opinion, how I see it, in my words. So whatever you feel, however you feel, I really don't give a fuck. I'm telling you what I feel. Let's get that understood. Now, Ynw Melly, when I say he didn't have a chance, he never had a chance. From the moment Ynw Melly was born, the odds were stacked against him. And this is what you gotta understand about a young man like Ynw Melly. His background, how he's been raised, and how he ended up to where he's at right now, facing 2 capital murder charges, okay? His mother, Jamie Demons, was 14 years old when she had Ynw Melly, little Jamel Demons. And the father, he was a young man, older than Jamie. I don't know exactly by how many years he was older, but he was older, okay? And unfortunate, you know, situation, a young girl, you know, at the age of 14, having a child, it's never an easy ride. It's a harsh reality, and it happens a lot in our community. It happens a lot from across the world. I mean, it happens everywhere. It's just something that, you know, it's fucked up, but it happens. So she gave birth to Melly when she was 14 years old. She was already in another relationship. So Melly had a stepdad. That's what I'm trying to say. And his stepdad, allegedly, and I just want to say allegedly, this is from what's out there, was reported, his stepdad was in a dope game. He was selling rocks, okay? And a lot of how can I say, youngsters in the hood, all right, rely on the dope game to make ends meet. I'm not saying that it's okay. I'm not saying that it's all right. I'm just telling you I know how it goes. Because at one point in time, I was one of those youngsters that was relying on the dope game for my income. So I know how that shit goes, especially in poor neighborhoods. And that wouldn't be no different for Ynw Melly's mom. She would end up with another guy, another relationship, once Melly was already a little kid, and she would leave Melly at the house by himself. And his stepdad would be out there doing his thing, and one day Melly came in the house and he was supposed to clean the kitchen. This is something that repeatedly Melly would do day in, day out. So in the process of him cleaning the kitchen, he threw away a little napkin. And inside of that napkin, there were some rocks, some dope, some work, some money. But he didn't notice. Him being a youngster, little kid, you know, he just trying to clean up. You know, he just trying to grab shit and throw shit away and have it respectable. So by the time, you know, his mom and his stepdad get to the house, everything is cool. But he didn't know that his stepdad had put some rocks inside that piece of paper towel or napkin, whatever it was. And he ended up throwing it away. So when his stepdad got to the house and he didn't find his dope, the first thing he did, he took it out on Melly. He beat the shit out of Melly. Okay? And this is something that had been happening already repeatedly in Melly's household. So from the moment that I tell you that the boy had it hard, I just want to get that understood, the type of household and the background that young Ynw Melly came from. Okay? young mom, stepdad, beating the shit out of him for him losing rocks and shit that it wasn't his fault. The rocks shouldn't have been sitting out in the first place. Okay? So his mom made the hard decision, and when I say hard decision, no mother wants to get rid of her son or daughter, child, period. No mother wants to do that. Okay? She ended up sending Melly to live with his grandma. Alright? And that would be in Florida. And his grandma, she couldn't keep up with his ass. Melly was already, jumping off the porch. Like they say, in them streets at an early age. Fascination with guns. He would end up translating into the dope game, doing his thing, making his money, and hanging out with the pimps, thugs, killers, gangsters. Okay? Like that's just the way it goes, man. A lot of these neighborhoods, these kids grow up and that's all they see. So to them, that's what they know and that's what they want to be like. It's a strong influence, a fact of life. And it wouldn't be no different for Melly. Once he jumped off the porch and started, getting himself involved with certain people, it was just a matter of time that Melly would start getting in trouble. And what a lot of people don't realize is, even before he was accused of killing both of his friends, he already had caught a case, okay, where he shot at some students, and I believe he would end up doing like a year or something in jail. But the reason why I bring this up, because you don't hear about this when you talk about Melly. All you hear about is the 2 murder cases. And what I'm trying to establish is he was already going down that slippery slope. He was already comfortable with busting that gap. Like I said, he got arrested for shooting at some students. Okay? I believe by a high school or some shit like that. But he would end up getting arrested for that. Alright? And another time, Melly would get arrested for possession of guns, possession of, controlled substances. So Melly was already, like I said, he already was familiar with the system. He already knew what could happen to him if he continued pistol playing. Now, if you see the transgression as the years went by, he went from, shooting at people to being accused of killing a deputy. And when I say a deputy, a sheriff's deputy, I mean a prison guard. This gentleman, he was a prison guard, and he was going to a family function, and he was basically an innocent bystander that got caught up in a shootout with one of his far relatives. They have the same last name, but they weren't real close, but they were attending the same house. And in the process of this guy leaving this house, he had words with some of these dudes that were standing outside of the house. And 2 of these dudes that were standing outside of the house happened to be Melly and his homeboy, his close homeboy, Ynw Melly. And shots were exchanged. The group of guys that Melly was with, they fired, they shot back, and one of the people that got hit was this deputy. Well, once they did their investigation, they realized they didn't have enough evidence to arrest Melly and Ynw Melly. So they basically dodged a major bullet right there, like literally, like. But even though the police, the homicide detectives, felt that this is what happened, they didn't have the evidence to arrest and convict Melly. Okay, for this. So like I said, there was a major bullet that went right over his head. All right, but you would think that even with this, it would be kind of like, hey, let me slow down, let me chill, let me relax. Nah, he would take it to a higher level. So by this deputy losing his life, it kind of put the bullseye on Melly. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. And the reason why I say that, because once you kill a police officer, a corrections officer, somebody from that community, those folks, and when I say those folks, I mean law enforcement, they have it in for you. It's like they can't wait for you to fuck up. So in that area where Melly frequented with his fellow Ynw members, the police already had a hard on, like they say, for Ynw Melly and the Ynw crew. I mean, that's just the way I could put it. Them cops, if you get them mad, if you kill one of them and the courts can't find you guilty and put your ass up in the penitentiary, they make it their business to get your ass. So this is a good possibility. I've also thought about this. It could happen. It could happen. But then you look at Ynw Melly's trajectory to that night where the incident happened. Okay? And like I said, October 2018. Alright. He's accused of literally shooting both of his homeboys in the head. One sitting in the passenger side and the other one sitting in the right hand side of the vehicle. So you have one in the passenger side, one in the back sitting with Melly. Melly sitting in the left, and Bolton is the driver. Okay? From the forensics, this is how it goes. Alright? He shot both of them in the head. It don't take much when you have the element of surprise. Let's get that understood right now. Alright? Second of all, this is something that Melly had been flirting with for a while. Okay? If you look at Melly's interviews, and he's talking about his other how can I say, his other character.
Fuck that bitch. Hey, fuck that nigga. Heard me? Hey, what you see when you look in my eyes, bitch? What you see? What you see? Alright, stop playing. Melvin, I told him that my name was Melly, Melly. He looked at me and told me, bro, I really like the album, I am you. He said that he would take control of me.
Like Melvin, my other person inside, Melvin, that motherfucker there, every day, all day. That's all you be thinking about. Shit, some people think about pussy when they wake up. Some people think about shoes. Some people think about weird shit. That nigga wake up with the murder on his mind. And I'm like, all right, bro. Do you? Got mixed personality. I really do though, Melvin and shit. He been inside of me. Like, he been in, like, mentally, like, inside of me, but I ain't have a name for him, like, when I was in the streets. Until one day, I met Hennessy. And then he was just, I looked in the mirror, he was like, Melvin. And I was like, what the fuck? Who the fuck is you? I think I got mixed personalities. We got like a contract going on. Like, I guess he get like 12 hours and I get 12 hours. 12 a.m. I can't control it after that. So it's just like, heat up. Ain't no putting him away, none of that shit. That boy, Melvin is in love with when she hurt Melvin. Bitch, you got a Facebook. I'm coming. That was Melvin, my bad. I swear to God, that was Melvin.
Difference, like who's Melly and who's Melvin?
Woo! Nah, Melvin. Can't say too much. But Melvin, all right, Melly is loving, genuine, turned up, happy, and just loving, you know what I'm saying? Michael Jackson. Melly is Michael Jackson. Literally, Michael Jackson. You know what I'm saying? But he's still thugging it, still street, but he, to an extent, he know how to control his anger in himself. But Melvin, I only let him out at nighttime. And I need to stop doing that. Like, when the night hits, he really come. And it's like, Melvin is just like, once you play with Melly to a certain extent, Melvin just don't like that. Melvin on your ass. No cap. He on your ass. He don't play. Don't fuck with him. But he know who he love, but it's just, he got that fire inside of him. Like, it's something. Yeah.
Who is Melly and who is Melvin?
I'm Melly right now. You feel me? I woke up. Like, I wake up with Melly. Sometimes I go to sleep Melvin. They two-faced. Them boys there. Yeah, they just, Melvin was like hyper crazy. Like, on go, you know? Mm-hmm. Melly the one cool, chill, genuine. You know what I'm saying? All that there. Just mixed personality. I ain't got no alter ego, I just got a mixed personality. Just crazy girlfriend, just, you know, I really got mixed personality, so I just say shit, I think I got mixed personality. It's not, I'm not just saying that, like, I really got Melvin, like, he's right here. He, yeah, for sure. Like, I must be fucked up too, cause we be vibing. We both got mixed personalities, Melvin, Yeezy. We be turned up, so I don't know.
More songs coming out this year?
I don't know.
No. Okay.
We got mixed personalities. See,
Y'all
Ye
both
might
got
want to
mixed
put it out, then Yeezy don't. Then Melvin might want to put it out, then Melly don't. So we just be vibing.
So who am I talking to right now? Am I talking to Melly, Melvin, Mel? Like, who am I talking to?
You talking to Melvin, because I'm mad right now.
What are you mad about?
You know I'm mad. We ain't going to talk about that right now.
What you mad about?
We said let it go, so we going to let it go.
Oh. All right. Okay. Are you a very spiritual person?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's dope. I like that.
Melvin is too. I took him to church.
So Melly and Melvin are both spiritual people?
Yeah.
How many personalities do you have? 6. 6?
Yeah.
What are the 6?
I can only reveal 3.
Wait, why?
Because the other 3 aren't going to be able to be released until next year.
Oh, okay. Okay, so tell me the 3.
You got Marcus. You got Ynw Melly, the rapper. And you got Melvin. But Melvin just started rapping too.
What are the 3 personas? Like, what's different about each one?
Melvin don't play no game.
Okay.
For sure. He on your ass. Melly, he just, he cool. He funny. He cocky.
He cocky?
He be talking this shit and all that. But
I think I met him when he walked in.
Yeah, I think.
Talking shit? Yeah. All right, go ahead.
Yeah. And then, Marcus, he the one, like, I be in disguise. Like, if I got, like, the shades on and a hat, and you can't really tell who I am, and I'm doing some regular people shit, so I could just feel like,
a regular person.
I am beautiful. Y'all like me when I be looking like this. Y'all like that? And then tweaking. Y'all need to chill out. You don't know that boy up. The devil got hold of me. He said you take control of me. Welcome to the mind of a maniac. Welcome to the mind of a maniac. Welcome to the mind.
He thought he was black, but Melvin is a cracker, yeah.
I am Melvin, yeah. I'm really stepping, yeah. The Smith & Wesson, yeah. I want to Anthony out. No. I ain't gonna take no please. It is up there. It is not coming down.
His other personality, he talks about Melvin, all right? And if you understand the spiritual world, and when I say the spiritual world, and let me elaborate, because a lot of y'all right now are probably like, what the hell is he talking about? But just chill. I'm gonna break this down to you. Like I said, it's from my view, my perspective. All right. Now, I'm a strong believer in Jesus Christ. Without Jesus Christ, ain't nothing possible. You ain't shit without Jesus Christ. Let's get that right now understood. And if you disagree with what I'm saying, you could get off my channel, go somewhere else. You ain't gotta hear me, you ain't gotta see me. I'm a strong believer that the man upstairs, Jesus Christ, is the one that allows us to breathe and do what we do every day. Okay? When he says it's over, it is over. So now that I done said that, we're gonna get back to Ynw Melly. Okay? When you hear him talk about Melvin, his other personality, Melvin is the bad one. Melvin is the gangster. Melvin is the one that you don't want to fuck with. Melvin is the one that he ain't trying to hear the bullshit. And if you hear Ynw Melly talk about when Melvin comes out, how it's like he don't have no control over Melvin. If you listen to how he talks, all right, he's basically telling you right there and then that, hey, this is my altered personality. But if you want to get a little bit more detail, there's a spiritual world out there, and there's what you call spiritual warfare. All right, I'm a strong believer in that shit. And if you don't believe me, wake up. All right, it's in the Bible. It's in the Bible of spirits, evil spirits, demonic spirits, inhabiting people and using them for their bidding. The devil is only out here to seek and destroy. Let's get that understood right now. And I'm not a Bible thumper. I'm not one of those dudes that be going to church. I haven't been to church in years. I'm not bragging. I'm not proud of it because I need to take my ass to church. I'm just keeping it real. I'm not a Bible thumper. I'm not one of those that are constantly saying, oh, you know, you better do this because God don't like that. I'm not one of those. But I do know that there's a God up there. I do know that there's a Jesus Christ that died on the cross for our sins. That right there, I know that for a fact. Okay, so I believe in the spiritual world. So when you have Mr. Demons, listen to that fucking last name, Demons. However you put it, however you pronounce that shit, look at the way it's spelled, Demons. All right, he has his mom's last name. Okay, he says that he don't know who his dad is. There's a guy out there, they call him The Gift. He's supposed to be a rap star or a rap artist, whatever the fuck you want to call it. He claims Ynw Melly. You check out what he got to say. I'm not going to get into that. That's a different story. But he claims to be Ynw Melly's dad. And if you hear what this guy has to say, you make your own conclusions. Like I said, I'm not here to throw nobody under the bus. I'm not here to throw Ynw Melly's mom, Jamie, or his dad, whoever he might be. I'm not into that. I'm just bringing y'all a different aspect of Mr. Ynw Melly and in the situation that he's in right now. So when you hear him describe about his personality, his alter ego, it's like something takes a hold of Ynw Melly. It's like the easygoing, you know, energetic, you know, that's out the door. And all of a sudden you have this evil presence that's there to, you know, destroy motherfuckers. You know, whatever he wants to do at that time, whatever he feels like doing, is done. Like he said, Melvin don't play. He gets on your ass. All right? So you can't deny that Mr. Melly has played with this and entertained this for a long time. And what happens is, it might have started off as him, you know, playing alter ego. You know, this is my transformation when I take it to another level. It might have started like that. But when you open those doors, the devil, he's listening. He's listening to what you're saying, believe it or not. He's the author of confusion. So he's out there listening for this shit. So when you open those doors and you welcome that in you, these demons, these evil spirits, believe me, they take a hold. They start manifesting up here. And it doesn't help that the drugs, the lean, the pills, a little bit of the powder, the alcohol, when you mix all these things, you become a conductor for this evil, wicked shit. You open the doors for it. You're welcoming it. Okay? And once that shit starts playing in your head and you start entertaining this shit, it's just a matter of time that you think that you're doing something that is gonna benefit you. See, because that's what the devil does. He tells you what you want to hear. He paints this pretty, beautiful picture, tells you that you're gonna be rich, famous, you're gonna have bitches, money, power. He paints a gorgeous picture and tells you that that's gonna be you if you do this. And don't get it twisted. Satan, he's only for one thing, and that's to make his army big. So the more souls that he brings, the bigger his army gets. So his job is to make motherfuckers crash and burn. And that's what happened to Ynw Melly. He thought that by killing his two homeboys, childhood homeboys, he was gonna take it to another level. And he did. He did. Like I said, when that shit came out, that Murder on My Mind, that shit went the fuck off. The numbers were like, here we are right now, and I think that shit sits 7 times platinum, some shit like that. So you can't deny that. But at what cost? See, he was already telling you what he was gonna do. he was already telling you. Like I said, you can see the telltale signs of him going down this route. And some people try to say, well, it was behind money. All right? And it could be behind money. People get killed behind money all the time. It could be behind money. Some people say that Sack Chaser threatened his mom. Threatened harm to his mom, and that's why he did that. Well, we'll never know. We'll never know. All right? I feel like we'll never know. But the ones that do know, Ynw Borland and Ynw Melly, they know what the fuck happened that night. Okay? But this is what I'm trying to tell y'all. Allegedly, they did this shit, and they commenced to do a cover-up. In other words, make it look like it was a drive-by. And this is not just what the homicide detectives, what the police is saying. When you look at these pictures and you see those rods going in between the seats, through the doors, across the seats, you know, in front of the seats, from different directions, those are called trajectory rods. That's how they establish what bullet hit who, what bullet went through the seats. Believe me when I tell y'all, they call it stringing, okay? They're reconstructing the pattern of how the bullets hit their target. That's what it is. That's what detective work is all about. This is what forensic work is all about. And these detectives, they do their homework. So when Ynw Melly and Bolton, you know, because he's the first one that they interviewed when he dropped off those two dudes at the hospital, you know, he took off on a run. They didn't catch his ass till, you know, some time later in Houston and brought his ass back to stand trial. But when they talk to him, if you hear what he's saying, it doesn't add up with the forensic reports. It doesn't add up with those trajectory rods in that Jeep Compass. And them homicide detectives, they're not dumb, man. They've been doing this shit for a while. Like I said, they cross their X's, dot their I's. They know what the fuck they doing. So for you to come with a plan and say we're gonna do this shit, and then we're gonna tell them that they got shot by a drive-by or whatever, if you don't have an airtight, and when I say airtight plan, they're gonna find out that you was the one that's responsible for it. And that's what's happening right now with Ynw Melly. I mean, it's not looking too good for a Ynw Melly. Okay, it's not. Like I said, those trajectory rods, they don't lie. And then you have the evidence of them finding a live round, a 40 caliber live round in the back left seat where Melly was sitting at. And that 40 caliber round that was not fired matches the shells that they found at another scene. Because you gotta understand one thing. They did this shit at one scene and then they drove around for some time talking about we gotta get our story straight. So this took a little bit of time. They're driving around with two dead motherfuckers in that Jeep. And Melly and Ynw Bolton, they're over there talking about, you know what, man, we gotta get our shit straight. Like that, when you drop off these motherfuckers, you gotta have a story and they gotta be airtight. But this is the problem. A lot of these dudes, when they come up with these plans, they're all fucked up. They're on pills, they're on lean. So they think they're coming up with an airtight plan, and they're really not. And they don't take a rocket scientist to poke holes through what he's saying. Ynw Bolton. I mean, they pick that shit apart like that. Okay? And what I'm trying to say is, they stepped outside of the Jeep and they fired at it. Made it look like somebody, like I said, did a drive-by. But the way they fired at it, it don't have nothing to do with how the murder actually went down. Like if you look at the trajectory rods, how these dudes got killed, the shots came from behind the headdress. All right? So either way it go, the way the detectives reconstruct this, it shows that Ynw Melly is the one that shot both of them. Okay? And I don't know if he did it for you know, famous, rich, superstar status. I don't know if it was a sacrifice like a lot of people say. I don't know. It's a possibility that it was. Like I said, I believe that Melly has different personalities from his own words, from his own actions. If you look at his eyes, when this motherfucker is saying this shit, you can actually see that wickedness in his eyes. I mean, let's keep it real, man. Let's keep it real, okay? And when you open the doors for that, you have demonic forces out there that are like, okay, you want to play with this shit? You want to summon this shit? You want to call on this shit? I'm gonna give it to you.
Smile for me, Melly, and action.
We gon' pull up with them sticks and hop out with them choppers. Walking out the 10 in blue Balenciagas. I caught her out, now I got blood on blue Balenciagas. Up that 40, let that pistol sing a melody. Fuck all of that talking, we can go to war. Need your brain marinating on the boulevard. I got something that'll put you out your misery. 7.62, 5.5, 62, 3. With that K, broad day, we hop out of spray. Young nigga way until my dying day. You ain't bout that action, boy, let's not pretend. Caught you lacking after school and shot at all your friends. It go like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Unload the clip, reload the clip, and then you spin again.
Smile for me, Melly.
And once it takes a hold of a motherfucker, this is the type of shit that happens right here. Like I said, I don't know if he did it for fame and fortune. I don't know. I don't know if he did it, you know, for, I don't know, man. I mean, this is a complex, wicked, fucked up murder case, okay? And a lot of people believe that he's gonna get out. This shit don't look too good. Like I said, they got a lot of evidence against Ynw Melly. And just on a simple fact that he was suspicious on that deputy getting shot, you know, innocent bystander, they already have the bullseye on Mr. Ynw Melly and Ynw Borton. I mean, both of them. These motherfuckers been putting in work, you know, for a while already, since they were youngsters, like little kids, 14 years old type shit. They were already off the porch putting in work. So they go back like peanut butter and jelly. And if you look at the time frame where these murders took place, they pulled up at the hospital around 4:35 in the morning. And like I told y'all, remember, they drove around talking about what they were gonna say. In other words, getting their story straight. They were coordinating how they were gonna set up, you know, what they were gonna say to the police, to the detectives. So if they got to if Bolton got to the hospital at 4:35, this could have happened, let's say 3:30. All right, no later than 4 o'clock. If you know anything about the spiritual war, okay, because there's a war that's going on out there that we can't see with our natural eyes between good and evil. Okay, between 3 o'clock in the morning and 4 o'clock in the morning, demonic activity is the strongest. Like, that's when you see the evil shit come out. All right, like I said, it's the strongest. And let me explain. When Jesus Christ died and nailed to the cross was at 3 o'clock p.m. during the day. Okay? That's the time of the day where demonic forces are at the weakest. In other words, you don't have that much activity around that time of the day. Sunlight, 3 o'clock. All right? 3 o'clock in the morning, wee hours of the morning, night, darkness, is when demonic forces are the strongest. And if you don't believe me, look this shit up. Anybody who knows about this shit will tell you this is the way it is. It's a fact. Demonic forces at that time of the day are the strongest. So this murder took place, like I said, between, let's say 3:30 and 4 o'clock, the latest. And from what I see, Melly was already, you know, preparing himself about, you know, committing this and trying to establish an alibi. And they have that recording of him basically saying that he don't feel sorry for doing this shit to these dudes. Like he did that. He don't feel sorry for them. And I don't believe that Melly realized that his phone was on record. This shit happens all the time, man. Motherfuckers are talking about shit and they don't realize that their phone is on record. And later on down the line, when the detectives get a hold of your phone and they go through your shit and they find this and they listen to it and they see it, they're like, oh shit, Look at what we got here. So that's one thing right there that's not looking too good for Melly. That shit right there in the court of law is gonna hurt. Like, how you go around that? It's his voice. It's his phone. It's his image. So how you go around that shit? Now he has some good attorneys, man. Don't get me wrong. He got the best of the best that money can buy. But sometimes that's not enough. So what I'm trying to say is, Ynw Melly, he didn't have no chance from the beginning he was born. Okay? He was born into a fucked up situation. Like I said, his mom chose her boyfriend, the dope dealer, before she chose him. And like I said, I'm not here to throw his mom under the bus. She was young. Everybody commit mistakes. She just happened to, put a man before putting her son. So Ynw Melly, he had to grow up fast. Okay? He had to grow up fast. And his obsession with guns was something that he picked up at an early age. And I know about this shit. I was one of those that at an early age, I was fascinated with guns. Like I said, those that know me, they'll tell you. So I know how that shit goes. So when you mix that in, with the rap, the gangster shit, if you're not self-centered, have people around you to keep an eye on you, you could easily get out of control. Especially if you're playing with these different personalities, opening that door. It happens. It happens. And I believe that Ynw Melly is a prime example. I believe that the boy got some evil spirits, some wicked shit. If you listen to him, he's talking about, he don't have just one. He talks about having 6 different personalities at one point in time in this interview. So, and that's normal. That's normal. People that have possessions, people that are inhabited by evil spirits, it starts off with one. And next you know, you have other evil spirits that are like, fuck, if he's having a good time in this motherfucker's body, let me get in, let me get some of this, let me jump into the party. And they jump in. And now you have 2 evil spirits fucking with you, taking a hold of you, shaping your thoughts, your behavior. And next thing you know, you have a 3rd one. And every single one of them that gets in you, they're more evil, more treacherous, more hell-bent in destroying you by any means. Next thing you know, you're talking about you got 6, like the way Melly's talking about it. So, he was already gone. When I say he's gone, you can see it in his eyes, okay? Like I said, the devil promised him one thing. He thought he was doing something, his sacrifice or whatever. Because I don't think it was about the money. I don't think so. And after he did that, the devil's like, I used you. You did my bidding. Get the fuck out of here. And this is where he's at now. In between that, they found some text messages. Because they went through all of Ynw Melly's phone. And they found text messages where he's discussing having his mother killed. Real talk. It's documented. Those text messages, they don't lie. Straight from the phone company. They don't have nothing to do with the police. They just subpoena that shit. Alright? And there's text messages of Ynw Melly discussing getting rid of his mom. You gotta be one wicked, evil motherfucker to discuss or even entertain getting rid of your mother. No matter how your mother raised you, no matter how your mother treated you when you were a child, no matter what your mother has done to you that was not right in the eyes of God or in the eyes of the law, you don't wish no harm to your mother. You let God deal with that. The same thing to your father. You don't take care of that. You don't wish him no harm. God sees everything and he handles it accordingly. But for you to discuss getting rid of your mother, in other words, taking her out the game, that tells you right there that Ynw Melly, Mr. Demons, that fucking last name says it all, y'all. He ain't playing with a full deck of cards. Them demons, they got a hold of him. And like I said, the drugs, they don't help. That shit takes a big part. And a lot of these youngsters out here, you see them, and you look in their eyes, they're empty. They're full of that dope, full of these evil spirits. And what they're doing, they're crashing and burning. Or as I say, clunking out. And that's what happened with Ynw Melly. Bunch of talent. You can't deny that shit. We all see that. But he believed that he could do that shit and get away with it. He really did. And then it's funny because one of his first messages when this happened, when he's talking about turning himself in, he talks about God having him. Like, all of a sudden, you know, I'm a God-fearing man, and he's gonna take me out of this. You can't be talking about demonic shit, about Melvin, you know, kicking ass and being a boogeyman, and then turn around and talk about God has you. It don't work like that. Alright? You can't do the devil's bidding and talk about God is gonna save you. You're delusional. And I'm not wishing no bad on Ynw Melly. At the end of the day, I believe that he don't even know what he's into, what he done got into. He really believes that he's gonna get out and resume his rap career. And he might. I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball in front of me. All I'm saying is that me knowing how the system works, how these investigations work, how these trials work from experience, they have a lot of evidence against Mr. Ynw Melly. The shit is not looking too good. So all those personalities, especially Melvin.
Nah, fuck your bitch, boy. I ain't fuck your bitch, bitch. Melvin did. I said, I ain't fuck your bitch, boy. Melvin did that shit, bitch. And I heard he fucked her good, too.
Like, if you watch this shit and you listen to him describe these personalities, especially Melvin, if that ain't evil, man, I don't know what the fuck y'all call evil. Like I said, this shit happens. You just gotta be able to recognize it. You can't be naive and just think, oh, that's just in movies. This shit is real. This shit is real. And the devil, like I said, he's just out there to seek and destroy. He uses you, and then once you do his bidding, he just crumbles you up and moves on to the next one. He's like a fucking leech. He's there to suck your ass dry. So it's gonna be interesting. His jury selection started earlier this month. They're already picking the people that are gonna be the jurors, the alternate jurors for his case. So after X amount of years, what, 2-3 years? Yeah, something like that. His case been postponed numerous times. You know, the whole COVID thing, technicalities from the DA, his lawyers asking for more time. So this has been one of those grinding, how could I say, one of these grinding cases that's been slowly but surely grinding. And it looks like now it's finally getting on gear, and we're about to see. We're about to see what happens. Like I said, his mom, you know, she swears up and down that he's coming home. And I don't knock her. That's her son. That's her blood. She's supposed to wish that. Is it gonna happen? It remains to be seen. Like I said, they have a lot of overwhelming evidence on Melvin, Ynw Melly. They have a lot of evidence. And what I believe is gonna be the final nail in the coffin for Ynw Melly, I believe that his partner, his childhood buddy, his fellow YNW member, Ynw Bolton, will be testifying against Ynw Melly when it's all said and done. And the reason why I say that, because look, forensics says Melly's the one that shot both of the dudes. The dude in the passenger side and the dude sitting next to him in the back seat. All right? Bolton, he was just the driver. So believe me when I tell you, these fucking DAs are gonna come to Bolton and say, look, man, you don't have to throw your life away for Melly. He's done. We're gonna put his ass up for good. You know, like I said, they were trying to give the motherfucker the death penalty. They done took it off the table and they done put it back on the table. So like I said, they have a lot of evidence against Melly. So they're gonna hit Bolton up and they're gonna say, testify against your partner and we'll give you a deal. you still see daylight. You'll do some time, but you're not going to throw your whole life away. I believe that Ynw Bolton will be state evidence, state witness against Ynw Melly, his childhood buddy. Because they're going to come to them with, believe me, football numbers. And when them fucking DAs start throwing them football numbers, believe me when I tell you, a motherfucker get to start thinking. That's a lot of time. And once they start greasing his ass up and start telling him, man, you ain't got to throw your life away, man. You just a accessory after the fact. You know, basically that's what he is. He was just a driver, you know. He just, you know, helped set up the whole thing and try to cover it up. The one that squeezed the trigger is Melly. And if they get Bolton to testify against Melly, that's a done deal, y'all. Like they say, open, shut case. So, bunch of evidence, the possibility that Bolton will be state witness against Ynw Melly, it don't look too good for Melly. I'm willing to bet anything that Bolton would testify against Melly. I'm willing to bet anything. That's just the way this shit goes, y'all. Ain't no fucking loyalty. It is what it is. We're about to see how this shit goes down. Like I said, it's going to be interesting. Pay attention to what's going on. Once again, this is a cautionary tale, y'all. Cautionary tale. Be careful what you speak into existence. Be careful what you ask for. Be careful who you surround yourself around. You never know the bad energy that you welcome around you when you're around certain people. You never know the evil energy that you welcome when you say certain things and you do certain things. You put yourself in a predicament where you can't handle it. And that was the case, and it is the case with Ynw Melly. It's unfortunate, but this is once again a cautionary tale. As soon as this shit gets rolling, it's supposed to start, his trial's supposed to start in June, right around the corner. Like I said, this shit's gonna be interesting, y'all. But this shit was bound to happen with Ynw Melly. Like I said, he already had a history of getting in trouble via the gun, okay? And this shit right here just snowballed, and as time went by, he started getting the notoriety, the fame, the money. He got big-headed, and that's when Melvin took over. I believe that Melvin is an evil spirit. And I believe that Melvin and all the other spirits that Melly talked about are laughing. I'm like, they're like, yeah, we got this motherfucker. We did that. It's sad. It's sad. Once again, I appreciate y'all joining me. Please hit them likes, hit them subscribe buttons. Like I said, man, the only way I could bring it to y'all is show me a little bit of love, and I promise y'all, you won't regret it. To the next one, Panama's OG Truth.